Hello YouTube, today I'm going to be doing a deck profile for Subterrors. It's a new deck that was just released in the Dark Illusion. A lot of people aren't really talking about it, although I think the deck has great potential. Right now, this is definitely not the most competitive deck. It's much more of a casual deck, but it's still, I definitely see potential in the future, and I still think it's a really fun deck to play. I feel like if you really enjoy decks like Necroz, you might enjoy this deck, because this deck has high search power, and it's a bit of a slower, more thinking how you're going to use your resources type of deck. And with that being said, I'm going to get right to the deck profile. I play a bit more of a smaller Subterror build because right now I'm playing the Ritual build, and the Ritual monster is the most important card to get out, and a lot of the Subterrors don't do anything until you get them out. So I play 2 Subterror Nemesis Warrior. I used to play this card at 3, but it doesn't do too much with normal summoning. This card, you really mostly want to search it. You sometimes make rank 4s with it, which is why it's great to have it too. And you want to see it a lot of times on turn 2 or 3, but I almost never want to see this turn 1 unless I have a really well-established hand. I play 2 Mostrix, which is a really nice card. I may bump it up to 3 because I'm currently trying builds with swords or sacred swords, where you banish a card from your hand or field and you get to draw 2. But right now I don't play that, and I feel like this is a little bricky at 3, so I feel like it's 2. Plus you can search it with your field spell and Gigabyte, and you can summon it with other stuff, and there's a lot of ways to search this. And the only monster I play at 3 is Stalagmo, because his draw ability is really important to fix and unbreak your hand sometimes. He's the biggest attacker. Also, he's the only card as of now in this version of the deck that lets a 1 tribute summon for, or a 1 ritual summon for Tatooine. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. And that's all I play for Subterror monsters. I play 3 Manju, because you really want to see the Ritual card fast as possible. This is almost always going to be your normal summon unless you have nothing else, really. I play 1 Koinerma. I only play 1 because it's really nice to search, but it's so slow. It's kind of like the, I want to say, the Garnet of this deck, although it's not like as nearly bad as drawing Garnet. You almost never want to set this unless it's like late game, or like you search it and you need to make a comeback, but this card, its effect is good, but unless you have a way to flip it on your turn, it's not really probably going to be triggered on your opponents. They're probably just going to like Raigeki it or destroy it with some like effect like Dark Destroy or something like that. So this card is very unideal right now. It's still good as a 1 though to search off the Ritual spell. And for hand traps, I play 3 Max C. It's my hand trap I choose because sometimes this deck can get very bricky, and this will fix the brick. That is why it's also important. It's also good against a lot of decks right now. Maxi is very powerful. I side a lot of their hand traps, but I feel like this is the best hand trap right now. Maybe behind Valor, but this is better in this deck to fix your hands. I was debating my ratios a lot for this, but because the Ritual is so important to this deck, I decided to play 3 Tatooine, or Torotre, or Tarotre. There, Tarotre. I can never get her name right. She's the boss monster of the deck. She's good right now. By the end of all 4 support sets, she probably won't even be played, because right now she does create a lot of bricks in this deck. But right now she's like the boss monster, and she is a must play. You could play 2, I've tried 2, but I would not cut it below 2. I think 3 though is good just because you want to see it. I also play 3 Ritual, because I also want to see that too. I play 3 Pre-Prep, because this card is an instantaneous get both to your hand. It's incredibly nice. I also play 3 Hidden City, because it's a search card for all your Subterrors. Lets you flip stuff, lets you block your opponent's attacks. It's very good, especially in combination with this. Like if you see this and this in hand, or Terraforming or something, you get a guaranteed make your monster, and you get to special summon, and you could then by the end of your turn, if with just these 2 cards, you'll have this Stalagmo on the field, and during your opponent's turn, you can negate an attack and book him in one of their monsters, which is good for just 2 cards. Not the most powerful of plays, but one of the best plays in this deck. It's still a very good play. And to searchers, I play 2 Terraforming. A lot of people are playing 3. I was for the longest time, but there's so many times where I've kept seeing 2 field spells in hand, and that is just really bad. Like, I want to see the field spell, but I don't want to see more than 1. In the future, maybe it'll go up, maybe it'll go down, depending on what kind of support we get, but right now I feel 2 is a good number. I also play 2 books. I play Book of Moon, because it's good to flip your own stuff back down. It's also a good offensive card. And I play one Book of Eclipse to, again, flip stuff down. It's also a good defensive card, although I really don't recommend it unless you're desperate because your opponent will draw, unless you stop them. And for back row removal, I have 2 Twin Twisters, just because back row hurts this deck. There's not a lot of discard fodder outside of Nemesis Warrior and an extra ritual spell, but I feel like it's still a pretty good card to deal with back row. A lot of times going minus is worth, especially since you can plus so hard in this deck with all your searches, so the minus isn't really an issue. I tried the other ones, I just feel like Twin Twister is my choice right now. You can replace it with whatever you want. I play one Raigeki because it's good for dealing with opposing boards, it's good for going turn 2, it really has, it's just a good card. You all know what Geki does. I play one Instant Fusion because this deck sometimes is capable of making rank 4s, and most of the extra deck is just rank 4s with a few other things. It's very good. You can recycle old Subterror Nemesis Warriors and do a lot of combos with it, and it's really nice. And I play one Upstart for consistency. And for my traps, I play one Floodgate Trap Hole because I have Rafflesia and I wanted to try this card a lot lately. This card is actually very nice. The only thing that's really bad about this card is it's worthless against Kieran. If you have Monster on field, because they can just chain Kieran and get their Kieran back, and then it's bad against that. But outside of that, it's pretty much good against almost everything else. And for the last 4 cards, I play the Solemn Brigade, because striking is very, very good against a lot of monster effects and pendulums and all that. The Solemns are very good. I've tried lowering the number of traps. I've considered switching them out with hand traps, but I still feel like the Solemn is the uncontested best trap, or the best way to deal with your opponent's cards, especially Warning. Strikes are debatable, but I feel like Warning should probably be played in just about every deck right now. And for the extra deck, it's mostly just staple rank 4s. I play Dweller, Castell, Digusto, Diamond Dyer, King of the Feral Imps because you can search the level 7 guy with this, although you rarely do it. I play Utopia, Prime. His second effect sometimes comes up, believe it or not, but it's so rare. Lightning. Number 101, which I've never ever made in this deck. Rafflesia just for the one target, although you kind of usually just make your other plays. You can rarely make a rank 4 turn 1. Zubaba General, this is a weird techie choice, but basically you can equip a Subterror Nemesis Warrior from your hand to it and make it a 38,000 attack monster. I only make this is if I have 2 rank 4s in the field and they max see me and I want a big beater, but I don't want to give them 3 cards, since I'll just give them 1 to make Zubaba General. This will definitely be replaced in the future. It's just kind of a fun card for now. I don't have a Big Eye at the moment, so right now I have a Red Eyes, but I'd probably play Big Eye over Red Eyes. This has only really came up like once. I play Dora, because you can make rank 10s with the Slagmos, and the 1 Norton. That's 14 right now. The other card I was playing for a while was MX Saber Invoker, which I was playing the Speedboard engine to make this card because you can just summon a Nemesis Warrior directly from deck. But really, the Speedboard engine is not even worth it, honestly. I've tried it out a lot. Most of the times, I just wish it was something simple like a Solemn or a Twin Twister or anything else. But like this card is just, in the future, this card could be really good. But right now, it's not worth committing to anything. I only have 1 level 3 in Coin Irma, and this card just, it doesn't really ever come up. And then for the side deck, I play Triple DD Crow over for Blue Eyes. I play this over the card that banishes the 2 lights because A, they don't always have 2 lights engraved, although they do most of the time. So like this card's always live, whereas that card's only live most of the time. And this card's good against other decks too, which you're mostly going to see siding this against Blue Eyes, but still, I like that too. Also, it comes ulti, so there's that plus too. I play 3 Effect Veiler, because Effect Veiler is like the best card, maybe outside of what's called Restrict to play against Monarchs. It's good against a lot of other decks too. It's good against. It's the only of hand trap that's It's the only other hand trap that's probably better than Maxi. It's a really, 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 really good card. It shuts down your opponent's key monster plays. I play double Flying Sea since I'm already main decking 3 Maxi for BA. If you play Cherries, probably play Cherries just because it's an auto win. I dislike Cherries at all because I was playing BA, but Cherries is just an awful, like, just that card should not have came out. But for this deck, I play Flying Sea because it's good to stop their plays and all that. But definitely, if you haven't played Cherries, that's a much more effective card. I play 2 Book of Eclipse if I need to, like for defense. Also, it's good for flipping my monsters. I don't really know how I feel about siding these right now. It's still really good though. Like there's other cards I might want more, but sometimes it really has help. Like if they have a field full of monsters and I need my place to go off, Book of Eclipse really has been a lifesaver. For Cosmos, I play the 3 system down. For back or heavy decks, I play the 1 extra Twin Twister. And my last card of choice is 1 Ultimate Providence because you almost always have cards in your hand, so you're always going to have stuff that's like extra you can discard for. So this card's really nice just to like discard to negate a monster effect or a spell. You're almost never going to like keep a trap in hand. But like you can, like this card is just, it actually is way, way, way better than people give it credit for. And that's my deck profile, guys. I'm also probably going to be doing a Metal Foes deck profile soon. If you want to see that, go ahead and like and subscribe. I'll see you. See you guys later.